Have you noticed it too? It's subtle, almost invisible unless you really look. The ones who used to bring peace into the room just by being there. The ones who used to speak softly but powerfully. The ones who made you feel safe just because they existed. They're not around anymore. Not in your feed. Not at the events. Not in the conversations that seem to matter now. They're disappearing. And it's not a coincidence. It's not just personal burnout. And it's not just society getting faster. It's something else. Something deeper. A shift happening on the soul level. If you felt it, if you felt yourself withdrawing, losing interest in the noise, craving silence, longing for something you can't name, this video is for you. Because you're not alone. You're not broken. And no, you're not giving up. What you're experiencing might be the same silent awakening that's pulling other spiritual people out of the crowd and into the quiet. In this video, I'll walk you through 6 deep reasons why this is happening. And by the end, you won't just understand them. You'll understand yourself a little more too. Reason 1. Truth has no seat at the table. In a world that glorifies performance, truth becomes inconvenient. Modern culture doesn't reward stillness, patience, or depth. It rewards speed, sound bites, and spectacle. If your message can't be packaged into 15 seconds of attention-grabbing noise, it's often discarded. And here's the thing. Spiritual people don't perform truth. They live it. They speak it slowly. They invite contemplation. But that doesn't trend. It doesn't go viral. So their wisdom, centuries deep, quietly powerful, gets buried under clickbait. And instead of trying to shout over the noise, they fall silent. Not because they're afraid, but because they know real truth doesn't scream. It waits. This silence is an absence. It's a refusal to distort truth for applause. Reason 2. The world is too loud for sensitivity. Spiritual people are not only emotionally intuitive, they are energetically sensitive. They feel things most people miss. The tension in a room, the sadness in someone's voice, the subtle shift in someone's energy even when they say they're fine. This kind of sensitivity is a gift, but in today's world, it's a burden. Because everything is overstimulating. News, notifications, political outrage, curated perfection on social media. It never stops. To a sensitive soul, this isn't just exhausting. It's painful. It creates a kind of spiritual static that disrupts inner peace. It becomes harder to hear your own soul when the outside world is constantly screaming. And so, they retreat. They cancel plans. They leave group chats. They go inward, not out of avoidance, but out of necessity, to survive emotionally, to recharge spiritually, to remember who they are beneath the noise. Reason 3. They refuse to fake it. Spirituality has become aesthetic. Crystals, vision boards, Instagram quotes, yoga selfies. But for the spiritually grounded, none of that feels real. They didn't get into this path to be trendy. They found it through pain, through death, through heartbreak, through loss, through stillness, through divine encounters too profound to explain in captions. And so, when spirituality becomes performative, they step back, because their relationship with the divine is private. It's sacred. They don't need to prove anything to anyone. And when a culture starts turning ancient wisdom into marketable content, they feel the disconnect. They don't want to be seen as enlightened. They want to be real. So they go quiet. They stop posting. They stop trying to explain themselves. Because their spirit doesn't crave followers. It craves truth. Reason 4. Constant giving without receiving. Spiritual people are natural givers. They listen without interrupting. They comfort without needing to be asked. They hold emotional weight for others without anyone realizing just how heavy it is. But being the strong one comes with a cost. Eventually, they realize they've been filling others' cups while theirs remains empty. And it hits them. They've spent years holding space for others, yet no one holds space for them. They become the counselor in the group, the safe one, the healer, until they feel invisible. And they don't want pity. They want balance. They want genuine connection where giving is mutual, not expected. So they retreat, quietly, not to punish anyone, but to finally prioritize their own healing, their own needs, their own soul. Reason 5. They've realized real change happens in private. There's a myth that if you're not public with your healing, it's not real. But spiritually mature people know the truth. Transformation doesn't need an audience. Some of the deepest breakthroughs happen in silence. In the middle of a prayer, a sleepless night, a walk in the forest, a page in a journal no one else will read. Not everything sacred should be shared. Not every wound should be displayed. Not every insight should be posted. And so, they disappear, not from life, but from the illusion that they must be visible to be valuable. They step into the shadows to meet themselves more deeply. They let go of being seen so they can truly see. Reason 6. The modern world no longer feels like home. This is perhaps the most haunting truth. Spiritual people often feel like exiles in a world that's lost its soul. They remember a different rhythm of life, not necessarily from childhood, but from somewhere deeper. A memory that feels ancient. When humans were in sync with the moon. When time wasn't measured in clicks and deadlines. When silence wasn't awkward, and community meant more than networking. Today's world feels foreign. Fast. Shallow. Disconnected from spirit, from nature, from each other. And this disconnect is devastating to the soul. So they grieve. They mourn something they can't fully name. And in that mourning, they pull away, not out of judgment, but out of longing. Longing for a world that once was, or a world that could be again. Part 2. Personal reflection and comfort. If any part of this speaks to you, maybe you're one of them. One of the quiet ones. The sensitive ones. The seekers. You felt invisible lately. You felt like your presence doesn't matter. Like your words fall flat in loud rooms. Like you're the only one craving depth in a world obsessed with speed. But I need to tell you something you may have forgotten. You are not fading. You are awakening. This inward shift isn't death. It's rebirth. You're being called back to your essence. Back to presence. Back to truth. Back to the soft whisper of your soul that got drowned out in all the noise. And no, it's not easy. It can feel lonely, isolating, confusing. But you're not alone. Others are walking this path too. Quietly, invisibly, beautifully. You may not see them in the spotlight, but they're here. Just like you. Part 3. A higher purpose in disappearing. What if disappearing isn't the end? What if it's preparation? A spiritual retreat that strengthens the soul for what comes next. Because here's the paradox. Sometimes, the only way to stay strong is to step away. The only way to stay real is to disappear. And when the world breaks, when the illusions collapse, when the noise becomes unbearable, people will search for something real again. And they will find you. They will find the ones who chose silence over spectacle, depth over approval, healing over attention. They will seek the wisdom of those who withdrew, not because they were weak, but because they remembered who they were. Final message. So if you're disappearing, keep going. Don't resist it. Don't apologize for it. You're not broken. You're not lazy. You're not giving up. You're returning to the rhythm of your soul. You are not invisible. You are essential. You are not disappearing. You're reappearing in the places that matter most within. If this video resonated with your soul, let it be your confirmation. You're not alone. Others feel it too. And if you know someone, a friend, a parent, a partner, who's been quieter lately, maybe, just maybe, they're going through this same sacred unraveling, send this to them. Hold space for them. And if you'd like more soul-level conversations like this, subscribe to this channel. We're building something quiet but powerful, a place for the ones the world forgot, the spiritual ones, the real ones, the ones who are disappearing, only to return stronger.